Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. And for those wondering, I saw this film. I did not buy this film. I rented it, and check it out. So I checked out World War Z, a film that by the trailer I had no really little to no hope on it, especially after being disappointed with fucking Riddick and shit. And there's certain films that you feel like it, and your gut reaction is right. Like, I still don't like the Evil Dead remake. Yeah, it has gore. What else? To me, it has nothing else. I don't give a shit about the characters. I don't give a shit about the plot. I don't give a shit about the story. There's no imagination. There's no action. There's nothing worth a shit other than gore. I can see Dead Alive with gore, and the original Evil Dead with gore, and there's more stuff going on, like imagination, among many other things. Or Texas Chainsaw 3DX. And then there's some films that surprise me, like, I'll admit, White House Down. I had fun with it. And this film. I liked this film. I gotta admit, I liked World War Z. That's one of those things. I know someone's supposed to say, what about RoboCop and, the new Ninja Turtles? Too much nasty talk, the live action version. I'm sorry. Those are going to be like Evil Dead remake and fucking, which I know a lot of people like. Be My Guest, or Texas Chainsaw 3D. I know it. Those I know. I know for fucking. But this one, I admit, I was surprised by this film. Now, a lot of people are probably like, what the fuck, man? This should be a rant. And they don't disagree, and they're not going to understand it, and they're going to be surprised, and that's fine. But World War Z, I don't know if my friends will like it, like Effrey or Mike OCP. I don't know if they'll like it. I have no idea. They might not. But I did. It's based on a book, from what I understand. It barely has anything to do with the book. Which I know pissed a lot of people off, but I never read the book, so I don't give a shit. Didn't read the book, I don't give a shit. Directed by Marc Forster, and I know this film had a lot of problems, and it got pushed back, and it had a reshoot, and like the whole third act had to be reshot and rewritten. But then the film came out, and it got some good critical notices, has a good rating on IMDb, made some good box office, and watching it, I really got into it. I know some people said this film was boring. I don't see boring. You wanna know what's boring? Riddick was fucking boring. Man of Steel Boner was fucking boring. Iron Turd 3 was fucking boring. I didn't think this was boring. That's my opinion. Brad Pitt, from the trailer, and I know some people still say he was phoning it in. I was fine with Brad Pitt. Watching the film, I was fine with Brad Pitt. There's a fucking zombie apocalypse. You can't go, I mean, if I say he was phoning it in, then I have to say fucking Ken Foray was phoning it in and Dawn of the Dead, and he's not phoning it in. It's the straight-laced, hero. Well, this one, he cares about his family. Wants to do this for his family. And Brad Pitt, I gotta admit, Brad Pitt is a good actor. And I liked him. I liked his character of Gerry. I know there's another zombie film that I would like to... Like, this is a film I will admit, I would love to get on Blu-ray one day. I know it's an unrated version. From what I heard, it's not that much different. But I would still like it, just to add this film to my collection. I would like to get the Blu-ray someday, so I put it on my wish list on Amazon so I don't forget. But I would like to get that one day. But yeah, it'd be in my top 10 of 2013. I liked Brad Pitt. I thought it had a big scope to it, had a large scope. So I thought the budget was well used. This is a film that did have a big budget, and I thought it was well used. The budget was well used. It's on the screen. Entire cities are fucked up. I thought it went at a fast pace. I know a lot of people say it was boring. I don't think it's boring. Again, Riddick is fucking boring. But I didn't think this was boring. I thought the acting from everyone was fine. I don't think any of them were bad actors. I mean, the film starts out with Brad Pitt and his family, he has a wife, he has two daughters, and you get the idea that he had this job, but he quit for his family. They're in Philadelphia in traffic, and all of a sudden shit goes down. You have this fucking big ass truck mowing down all these cars flipping, bah, bah, bah. You find out there's a guy who's infected, just on the gas, and Brad Pitt has to maneuver behind it. And that's why I like it. It's like within the first 5-10 minutes, boom, we're gone into this film. And to me, it kept going. I thought it had some pretty good action set pieces. Yeah, you do have some shaky cam, but I gotta admit, I thought the shaky cam here, yeah, the shaky cam, but I liked it better than Frankenstein's Army or some other shit. Uh, I understood well enough, more than enough, what was going on. Even with the shaky cam, I did understand it. The CGI, that's the big thing. The CGI and the PG-13. The CGI, there is practical zombies, which I like the fact there are some practical zombies. I think there's some actual good makeup on the zombies. And then you do have some CGI for the wider shots, or if they have to do something that's incredibly impossible, like fall off a building and land, and they have to get back up and keep going. Uh, I would sort of be like, Olympus Has Fallen is the White House Down. I Am Legend is to this film with CGI. Like, Olympus Has Fallen, after the CGI was pretty piss poor, especially like the helicopter sequence when it lands on the White House. But then, that's Olympus Has Fallen I'm talking about. But then White House Down, I thought the CGI, even though it's not the best, it's, I think, a little bit better. Same thing like I Am Legend, those CGI is pretty bad. I think this is a little bit better, but, it is obvious CGI. But for these wide shots, but I don't know, looking at it as a whole, it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. Like, the CGI in Riddick bothered me more than this one. I don't know why that is. And the PG-13, I'm like, a PG-13 zombie film, what the fuck? And yeah, it could have been rated R, that's fine, but hell, I mean, at this point, I'll complain about gore in the future, I know. But hell, I saw Riddick, and Bullet to the Head, and Expendables 2, and fucking Evil Dead Fuck, the remake. Those were rated R. And those sucked. I'll complain about stuff being PG-13 rated R. I will. Yeah, this should have been rated R. But at the same time, for what it was, I liked it. Hell, Walking Dead. You just say that has more gore? But I like this film more than The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, I saw the whole first season, it bored the piss out of me. That's the thing that's boring. That's the thing I think is overhyped. I know someone's going to ask me, well, you saw a Dolph Lundgren film called Battle of the Damned. I liked Battle of the Damned, but if I had to be honest, I'd like this film more. Just for the fact that Battle of the Damned, like, that has shaky cam as well, but to be honest, I thought the shaky cam in here was better than the shaky cam in Battle of the Damned. And plus, that film just has a bigger scope to it, so it has more stuff going on. Plus, Battle of the Damned, the supporting cast annoyed the piss out of me, especially the bitch lady that Dolph has to save. She was just so aggravating. Sometimes took me out of the movie. But I still like Battle of the Damned. I would like to get that on DVD when it comes out. But what I liked about the film, it kind of kept me interested. It kept me on this, this big epic scope of all this stuff going down. Kind of like, the beginning of Dawn of the Dead remake for 2004. But what if that was most of the scenes in this movie? And yeah, I would say that Dawn of the Dead 2004 I like better than this. And the original Dawn of the Dead and the original Day of the Dead, I knew those were always going to be better than this. And hell, you just say, well, Dawn of the Dead remake and the original Day of the Dead, they already did it. So how can you be better than that? You can't. But I thought this was a fun adventure movie. I liked it as an adventure flick. I thought Brad Pitt did fine in his role. There's a scene where they're because their little girl has asthma, so they have to go in this pharmacy. I like some of the ideas they put in here. Like, you have this guy who has a gun. You think, oh, he's going to be the guy who's going to kill Brad Pitt, or he's going to try. But he actually helps him out and gives his daughter some medicine. You have a scene where some guys are trying to rape Brad Pitt's wife, and Brad Pitt has to shoot them. And just the whole chaos, and I thought it was actually pretty well shot. Them getting to the apartment building. I like the bit that Brad Pitt makes this stuff, like puts this stuff and duct tapes around his arm so that if they try to bite it, they can't bite him. I like that idea. When I watched this film, I kind of was interested in how they did it a little bit differently. I guess technically they're zombies, but they're done a little bit differently. It's kind of like they bite you, but then they keep going. And some they kill, but they bite you and they keep going. It's like a living bacteria that keeps growing and growing. And, you know, you just say a lot for zombie films, but I thought here is actually handled interesting for me. I'm like, okay, it's a little bit different. And, I mean, hell, this is a zombie film that comes out every week direct to DVD, and 99% of them suck ass. They really do. You know, fucking Walking Dead, in my opinion. I saw the first season. People are like, yeah, watch the second season. I love the first season of The X-Files, the first season of Monk, the first season of Dirty Jobs with Mike Bro, the first season of Star Trek, the first season of Home Improvement. If you can't give me the first season, then I'm sorry, fuck that show. I'm sure people will be pissed. But I like sort of the chaos that was going on, and I like the fact he gets this stuff together, and he actually has a gun, and you know, like when they're in the city and he's shooting some zombies in the fucking head, and he's going up this stairwell, and there's a scene where he has a bayonet, he's jamming into zombies and bashing them in the head. And yeah, I know it's PG-13, or the uncut maybe has a few stuff. I mean, it'd probably be CGI blood, but hell, look at Riddick, look at Expendables 2, look at a lot of films. Those are rated R and they got CGI blood, and they just the film itself I didn't give a fuck about. This I was fine with. Kept me interested. And them escaping their apartment, climbing up, getting to the helicopter. I don't know, I liked the epic scale that was done here that hasn't been done in a zombie film before. Probably not since the original Dawn of the Dead. And the original Dawn of the Dead is my all-time favorite zombie film. It always will be. And then Day of the Dead, the original and stuff. But I liked the epic scale of it. I thought, you know, the budget was on the screen. I thought some of the CGI looks like CGI, but some of it I could deal with. It didn't piss me off as other films have. Maybe because I got invested with what was going on. I don't know. Maybe because I've seen worse. But they get on this battleship, and they got to talk to Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt, you know, he's the guy who's got to go with this younger guy, and I like this twist here that they do with this twist. And I slapped my fucking knees because I was so excited about the twist. No, I'm not. Twist is breaking it, but like you think, oh, this younger guy, he's going to be Brad Pitt's, you know, second in command. They land. It's like in the dark, and you have like this barbed wire with zombies hanging there. The guy gets scared with a gun, runs, trips, falls, and shoots himself in the fucking head. And you see some blood practical and stuff. At least I saw aftermath. I'm like, I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming, and I'm sure now I just ruined it for you guys. So fuck it, you know. But my reviews are always spoiler filled. The fuck do you expect? But I like that he's going in. He's pretty much going from A to B to C, trying to find out where this thing came from and what they can do to fight this off. So they talk to these soldier guys, and they say, okay, you gotta go here, you gotta go there. I like the scene that they're in the rain and they have to ride these bicycles, and the zombies are chasing them, and the military is shooting the zombies. I like the fact that all the different ways they take care of these zombies, like they're in a plane, and the back door is still open. They have to rise up so all the zombies fall out of the plane. Or they get to this. Oh yeah, there's this one thing. This guy David Morse, he's in the film for a little bit as this guy. He's a prisoner of the base. He pretty much tells him, "Oh, you gotta go to Jerusalem," and he's like this weird guy who like takes out his fucking teeth. That was kind of weird little sequence. But anyway, he goes to Jerusalem, and he has to figure out what to go. And pretty much that's the scene where the zombies are building themselves up and go across the wall. I don't know. I like the idea that they fall right to their splat, and then they keep going. And even like when some of these zombies, like back in Philadelphia, when Brad Pitt is seeing this guy turn to a zombie and is counting, I like the way they edit this, where the girl has a toy and the toy's been squeezed and it counts to 12, like it counts. So it goes one, and he's watching. By this time, he's watching someone turn into it, and they're like their bodies doing like this and this and this. Two. Like the way he's edited, I like the way he was edited. That's what I mean. I like some of the stuff they put into this film. Uh, and that scene where the zombies are going in Jerusalem and just people getting attacked left, right. I like the fact that there'll be a person and they just fucking tackle. The zombies just tackle people in the glass. Just all the chaos happening. I don't know. It kept me interested. I'm like, oh shit, they did that, it kept me interested. It kept me involved. I'm like, oh shit. There's a lot of scope to this. Part of the reason why I liked it. I mean, I wanted to give everything away, but like I like the sequence where I like this girl that he's with, an Israeli soldier, they played by Daniela Curtiz, Sagan. I like the fact she gets bitten by a zombie and Brad Pitt has to cut her arm off. Yeah, I know it's PG-13. I know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just if I like the film, there's like, okay, I've seen enough people get their fucking arm cut off. What's another one gonna do? I mean, how many people have? I mean, if the film sucks, then I'm gonna complain about the gore. If RoboCop sucks did, which I'm 99% sure, then I'm gonna play. Why the fuck? At least have some gore, because I'm bored with the rest of the fucking movie. I wasn't bored with the rest of the movie, so I could deal with it. Taken. When I first saw Taken, it was PG-13. When I first saw Live Free or Die Hard, it was PG-13. I enjoyed those films. Sue me. But I liked that they cut her arm off, and long as the story short, they get on this plane, and then a zombie is actually on the plane, and it starts biting people, and 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and they have to get all this suitcase up, and they're coming in, and Brad Pitt has to take a grenade and throw it in the plane and blow up a piece of the plane, and zombies are flying off. And I know a lot of people don't like the way the third act, because the original third act was that they go to Moscow, and there's this big gigantic battle in Moscow. From what I understand, you're never going to see that because some of the effects wasn't finished, and studio won't put the money into it. Which I think is bullshit. I mean, you made money on the film. At least let people see it. Finish the shit. Come on now. But I like the way it was handled here because you have all this action and cluster and chaos. So then the third act is much more simpler. It's much more quiet. I mean, if there's another action scene, it would have been like, I thought the film had enough action and momentum. That okay, it's more of a suspense scene where Brad Pitt, he's gone to this place because he's realized, this is another thing I liked, they don't attack people who are diseased. So if you have some type of bad, terminal disease, they go past you. And Brad Pitt wants to test this out with some of the diseases they have at hand. And so him and 2 others, they have to go slowly through this facility and creep through and, have to barely, the noise and zombies will follow them if they... I like that they have to be very quiet. And Brad Pitt, does some noise so it gets the zombies to follow him. I like that he whacks one with the crowbar, or he, clotheslines one, and one he whacks with the fucking crowbar and then steps on his fucking head. I like that. I thought Brad Pitt actually did kick some ass in the film. At least to me, I thought he did. I keep saying that because I know a lot of people don't disagree, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with you disagreeing. It's not going to change my world, ruin my day. This is people want my opinion. This is my honest opinion. But I like that it was a different type of scene. It was much slower, quiet, suspenseful scene. I like the idea that he ejects himself and this zombie, which I thought was well done makeup effect. The zombie's looking at him and then goes by him. I like the scene too. He gets like a can of soda and then he kicks down so that all the other sodas fall so the zombies come after him because it's like another test. And he just walks. And I like the way I thought the musical score reminds me once in a while of Inception. That but I still like the score. And all the zombies are coming towards him. They just run past him, so he knows it's working. And the film doesn't end on a down note. It ends with hope. I like this film. Problems, yeah. Some of the CGI, yeah. You're gonna notice the CGI. PG-13, yeah. It should have been rated R. Those are two things I was thinking about. I'm like, I don't know. I hate the film, but the rest of the film, I like Brad Pitt. People say he's phoning it in. I didn't think so. I like Brad Pitt in the film. I thought the film was not boring. I thought fucking Man of Steel was boring. You know, I mean, Man of Steel has people punching for 50 fucking minutes, and I don't give a shit. That's bad CGI too. You know that's fucking CGI when, you know, oh my god, he went into a goddamn Taco Bell. Where the fuck he went into? Man of Steel boner. Where the fuck he went? What? I forgot what fucking store he went into. But that's obvious CGI too. You can't tell me it's not. But I don't know, here I liked the story more. The acting I liked more. I liked the pace more. The action I got involved with and I liked. I will say I like this better than I Am Legend. I mean, if I had to pick, I would say I Am Legend, Will Smith's performance. There's more to that performance than Brad Pitt. But I thought Brad Pitt still did a good job as a better film than I Am Legend. Like I Am Legend, I like I Am Legend. Maybe that's another thing. I do like I Am Legend, but the bad CGI really hurts the film. But I do like I Am Legend. I'm never hated I Am Legend. I do like I Am Legend. But if I had to pick, I'd probably like this film more. Because the fact that I think there's more stuff happening in World War Z. But I've never really hated I Am Legend except the CGI. I hate the CGI in I Am Legend. And I know a lot of people hate the CGI in this film, but I know people disagree, but I thought it was a bit better than I Am Legend. At least to me. I mean, there's some moments that it's obvious, but... And again, the PG-13, I don't know, it just didn't bother me too much in this instance. It really didn't. I mean, maybe because I've seen enough rated R films that sucked ass. Like Riddick, like Bullet to the Balls, like fucking Evil Dead fuck, Texas Chainsaw 3 Dicks. Those were rated R, and I didn't give a fuck about those movies. One of the only R-rated films I could say I gave a shit was The Last Stand, and maybe Olympus Has Fallen. But yeah, I didn't mind this film. I did not mind this film at all. I didn't think this was a bad film at all. I know Matthew Fox, I think his role got greatly reduced. Matthew Fox. Another film I like that not many people, well, maybe two people I know like, Alex Cross. He was supposed to be in this film more, but he was part of the third act that got cut, which is too bad. So you're barely going to see Matthew Fox, if ever. You're really not going to see much of him. I almost want to say his part pretty much got completely cut. And some of the bits in the Moscow scene you see at the end and sort of the wrap up. But I was fine with the way they went with the ending. I thought it worked better for the story. And I thought we just had enough action. I mean, I must not be alone because 67% Rotten Tomatoes, 7.1 on IMDb. I'm fine with that. And yeah, I like the film. I must admit. I mean, I like it more than fucking Walking Dead. Fuck. But yeah, I know. This is a surprise. I know, like my friend said, you like Brad Pitt? He was a block of wood in all the trailers. Well, seeing the film, I liked him. Doesn't Brad Pitt usually have like a has that sort of look to him? I mean, at least in Seven, and I liked Seven. Fight Club, I liked okay. I like Fight Club okay, but I'm thinking, well, when your family's being, you can't have your hero. I didn't want to see that, but I thought I like Brad Pitt, and I like. Funny, I like the film, and I don't apologize. I know people would be pissed. What the fuck? It should be a rant. But it goes to prove you. I'm going to be honest. No matter what. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. World War Z. Unbelievable.